Hello everyone, welcome to today's highly anticipated video. I'm Daniel, aka Floppy Penguin, and I'm coming at you from Bowler Smart IQ in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm finally going to be going over my arsenal for the USBC Open Championships this July in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So let's dive in. What's up everyone? What's up everyone? Hello everyone. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm Daniel. I'm here in Iowa, Gold Coast Casino. I'm ready to give you guys another vlog. I also want to take a minute and thank our sponsor Coolwick. Make sure to check them out at coolwick.com and use code FloppyPenguin10 as it appears on your screen now for a 10% discount on your next Coolwick order. Be sure to be cool with Coolwick Bowling Apparel. Let's answer the brief question of why are there two of the same ball in front of me, the Storm Level? Well, this ball I am super excited about for Nationals this year because I have a specific strategy that I'm going to be going over in this video to explain and break down my arsenal and explain why that I will be taking two of the same ball to Nationals this summer. So first things first, what ball is this? Well, the Storm Level, it is not urethane, it is reactive resin, but it reacts more like a urethane ball, picking up very early in the front part of the lane and being very smooth down lane from there. Now I will say that reaction is great for things like Nationals, where you're bowling a tournament, especially if you don't know the pattern or you expect it to be a more difficult oil pattern. Then having a controllable ball reaction is great, and it allows me to stay closer to the gutter. But now let's talk about why that I have two of them in front of me. So my main purpose for having two is surface. So what I've seen out of the Open Championships so far from videos and also heard from talking with customers that have already gone and people that I trust that have already gone, that have had success, haven't had success, and can explain why, I have noticed that there is kind of a trend going on in doubles and singles where someone will have a great either doubles or singles set, but rarely are they putting the two together to have a great 6 games. Now, there's some questions as to why that's happening. Well, I haven't quite started practicing yet on sports shots for this specifically, but I did employ this method when I bowled in Yulee last month, so be sure to check out the vlog at the corner of your screen now if you want to see me bowl a tournament on 2 different oil patterns. I had 2 similar balls in my bag, they were both urethane, and I kept them at fresh surface where I started with one, and then the second that I needed to change after the transition began happening and I no longer had enough surface on that one because it shined up, I went ahead and went to the other one, and it helped significantly. And in fact, I ended up making the stepladder finals in that tournament. So with that said, you can tell that they're both very dull right now. Well, the great thing about the Level is this ball is designed specifically to absorb oil faster and maintain the outer cover stock surface longer. So with that said, it can give me an advantage to keep the surface longer, and I can have 2 of them to switch between because it appears, and I could be wrong, but it appears that the pattern for doubles and singles has a much higher volume than we've seen in the past at the Open Championships. So with that said, because it's got that higher volume, you're more likely to see a little different transition than if it was lower volume, and a little slower transition. So I'm thinking that my game plan will be to throw one of them for the first 3 games and switch to the other for the next 3 games to finish out singles, so that I can have that fresh surface for when the first one shines up and is no longer grabbing the lane like I want it to. I can still maintain that similar part of the lane or even bank it off the dry a little bit extra with the more surfaced one for the last 3 games. So that's my overall game plan with this ball. Now otherwise in my arsenal, I have the Zen 25, I have the Equinox, the 2 levels. I want to take some urethane, so that's going to be my IQ 78 and my Zen U, which I have certainly had success with in the past with both of those at the Open Championships. And then because we're allowed a maximum total of 8 and I'm driving this year to Baton Rouge from Florida, I'm excited to take 2 extras, which are definitely going to be the Hammer Effect Tour Edition and the RST Hyperdrive. And what I love about those 2 balls is those are my stronger balls in the bag, where I can keep my angles a little closer to in front of me, and they're not going to force me to open up a ton, but also they really dig in that oil. So whenever the lanes are fresh, if I need something to really dig in and hook more and cover more boards, those are going to be the ones that I'm most likely to throw, because they give me that smoother reaction, kind of like these levels, but hook more. And so I really love those balls for that, especially if on team, as I'm expecting to play more of the track area, maybe even a little deeper inside, closer to 15, 16 at the arrows, then I can certainly utilize those two balls to play that steeper angle in the oil, but not force me to open up too much like a shiny ball would. I am currently between the Equinox from Storm and the Swag Fusion, mostly because I just drilled the Equinox and I'm not 100% certain how that ball is going to fit in yet with the arsenal, if I should take the shiny asymmetric ball or stick with the more benchmark ball in the Swag Fusion. Either way, I really like both options for that spot, and we will see what comes of it in the next couple of weeks as I kind of test and work on specifically bowling on some sport shots so that I can hone in my arsenal entirely and make a more informed decision. So with that said, those are the 8 that I'm currently planning on taking. Of course, it could change, and I plan on making a future video soon to kind of explain more in depth of what each motion is going to look like in my bag and the purpose for each ball. And I'm really excited to keep going with this journey, and I thank you all for joining me on these episodes for the USBC Open Championships in 2025. And again, it's in Baton Rouge, and if you're going, you should definitely leave a comment down below when you bowl, or if you've already bowled, leave a comment down below how you did. If you did bad, if you did great, or if you just had a great time.
I'm having a good time. Not.
Let me know, and also, if you have any restaurant suggestions for Baton Rouge, let me know in the comments too, because I love food, and I would be happy to hear of any restaurant suggestions that any of you may have down below. Leave a like if you liked it, and be sure to share this with your friends that are going with you to the Open Championships, or if this is your first time, or if you know somebody that it is their first time, be sure to share it with them too, and help them out, and maybe they can see the whole series to help them make a better decision about their arsenal and about how the lanes might play at the USBC Open Championships this year. So thank you all for joining me. Be sure to subscribe as well, because I've got lots of similar content coming out that can help you and your game for the future. So thank you all so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. God bless.